The only thing that we didn't experience in this whole story was death. Everything else that could have happened to us, it seemed. God had to literally break me in every possible way a man can be broken for me to get it. You ever feel like a circumstance in your life is just impossible? Everything's going against you and you have no hope. This game that I played since I was really young, since I was 12 or 13 years old, just ended in a flash. It ended up fracturing my spine in 17 places. By 2007, I was over 450 pounds. I was completely sedentary. I had lost 90% of the function of my right leg. I was also about a second away from being another NFL suicide statistic. All was lost. I've lost everything a man can lose except for my wife and my kids. The first night we were homeless, she looked me dead in my eyes. She said, I made a promise to you and a promise to God. And everything's going to be okay. I had never in my life seen strength like that. Now, she knew Christ. Period. And we see the best two spinal doctors in the world. Hope just flooded back into our lives. These guys studied me for a week. The first doctor walked back in the room, and he looks my wife and I dead in our eyes, and he says, if you were a horse, we would have shot you by now. I go from being a professional athlete that can do anything that I wanted to do physically to all of it being gone. All of it. It was that day where my wife and I prayed together to God for the very first time. It was more than just giving my life to the Lord. It was very action-packed. It was very filled with passion. I had nothing. We knew I needed to move, but how? How was I going to rehabilitate myself? Within 5 minutes of this prayer, my wife and I start seeing these pictures in our head of this thing. The first model was some dirty old yellow truck tie-down straps and an old freight band that we sewed together with fishing line. You know, she puts this band around my back. They have these two straps that are going up to a tree limb. And I remember letting go of her neck, and I dropped the cane. And I was standing on my own. Next thing you know, I start to do a squat. You guys, squats led to push-ups. Another year goes by, and I'm doing pull-ups. 3.5 years of the most grueling training, physical therapy you can imagine. I put down my cane and my walker for the last time. How can we take what God has given us and go help other people? Next was, here we are 8.5 years later, that this company is now working with the best people and the best companies in the world of movement. As we've become this company about comeback stories, about beating the odds, about overcoming your obstacles. Last year or 2 years ago now, won the top 2 product design awards in the world. We're up there with Tesla automobiles and Dre Beats headphones and Primal 7, this thing we made from a prayer, the grace of God. Talking to you guys about this amazing grace of God story. But what's yours? Turn your walk into something a little bit more tangible, something that you can feel on a daily basis. Are you facing something that seems just impossible to get through? The answer is Jesus, right? We hear that all the time, but what does it mean? It's easy to say, right? Especially when we're kids, we're young. Like, what does that even mean? You got to pursue him. You have to actively take off towards him and run for him. How does God want to use you? We all pray for it and we talk about it all the time, but we tend to just kind of walk aimlessly through our lives. Like, what's this purpose? How God intersects you with people all throughout your walk in your life. It's not a coincidence. It's not by chance. It's God knocking at your door. He's trying to use you for something great, something exceptional. Are you going to open the door? Because understand that God can't be anything less than who he is. He can't be anything less than perfect and always faithful and filled with love. That faith and that love and all of that is there waiting for you. But we've heard that a million times. What are you going to do about it is the question. How are you going to impact your world? How are you going to change your world? Why not you? But I'll leave you with this. Not only is this challenge to pursue the face of God, to passionately pursue him. You want this victory in your life and all of these things to start coming true and your dreams and all of these things. This can all happen for you, but only and when you are pursuing his face first. Dream so big that without God, it would be impossible.